Vande Matram. Welcome all of you. The spiritual topic of this great section of this for this evening will be on psychic love and divine love. So different types of love we have discussed during the different discussions in different classes, different forms, of course, in different names, of course. Today we are going to discuss everything from the from in the light of Aurobindo writing, of course, on psychic love and divine love. Very interesting topic. Many times people inquire of these topics about the love and all. We are anyway. This is a great opportunity for us in this great evening to discuss between psychic love and universal love. Aurobindo interestingly quotes very in one, of course, in one sentence, very small definition. It starts from Aurobindo. The psychic love is pure and full of self-giving. There is nothing to understand in it, nothing illimitable. There is nothing, of course, obscure in it. Very much crystal clear. The psychic love is pure and full of self-giving. That purity is there, self-giving is there. Without egoistic demands, there is no chance for any egoistic demands, but it is human and can err and suffer. First, that human love, there is a chance of erring, and of course, another way you can think that human that can err and suffer. So after erring in the aspect of this psychic love, somebody suffers really. The divine love is something much vaster and deeper and full of light and ananda. On the contrary, that the second love we are discussing of the divine love, that is something vaster, deeper and full of light and love. Comparing to these two love, we can have a very initial glimpse, very crystal clear distinction. When we'll see and rush into this point of distinction and point of clarity will be clear. Again, I will quote. The psychic love is pure, full of self-giving, without egoistic demands. But it is human and can err and suffer. But on the other hand, the divine love is something much vaster and deeper and full of light and love. Light and ananda. Very interesting clarification, definition by from Sri Aurobindo. Again, Sri Aurobindo quotes very interestingly, divine love is the spiritual. Divine love is the spiritual founded upon the sense of the one and the divine everywhere. The sense is there, the idea is there, the sense of the one and the divine everywhere. This concept is there, divine everywhere, and the change of personal into the wide universal consciousness, free from attachment and ignorance. This is the supreme characteristic of the divine love. So divine everywhere, and the change of personal into a wide universal, personal into wide universal consciousness, free from attachment and ignorance. There is no attachment, no ignorance in the aspect of the universal love. Then again, here in the quotes, universal love is of two kinds. One, divine love for the creation and the souls, divine love for the creation and the souls that are part of itself, and love for the seeker and love for the divine beloved. So just imagine two types of loves here in the quotes. Divine, it is two kinds. Divine love for the creation and the souls that are part of itself, number one. Then the love for the seeker and the love for the divine beloved. This is the second kind. Anyway, it has both a personal and impersonal element. Two types of element. One is personal and another is an impersonal aspect element. But the personal is free here from all lower elements. Personal we know that is that constitutes all lower elements and bondage. But here in the course, but the personal is free here from lower elements or bondage to the vital and physical instincts. That is the speciality. And again, Sri Aurobindo goes from clarifying very interestingly, the divine's love is that which comes from above, poured down from the divine consciousness. It is nothing, of course, here. It is poured down from the higher hemisphere. It belongs to the higher category. The divine's love that which comes from the above, poured down from the divine oneness. This is coming from the oneness and the divine oneness. It is poured from above, and it's ananda on the being, divine oneness and it's ananda on the being. Psychic love, on the other hand, psychic love is a form taken by a divine love. It is a form taken by a divine love in the human being. This thing, it is coming from divine love, coming from above, and poured down in from the divine oneness, and it's ananda on the being. There's what happens. Psychic love is a form taken by divine love in the human being according to their need and possibilities of the human consciousness. So, as per the preparation, as per the participation, and as per its base, so this psychic love, actually, divine love in the human being take form according to the need and possibilities of the human consciousness. Need and possibility of the human consciousness. Again, we'll go for the another thing, that is the soul's love. Of course, we know soul and psychic almost the same concept. Soul in the process of this thing, in development, so it gets psychic. The soul's love and joy come from within from the psychic being. This soul's love, it comes from within, because we know psychic being is well inside us, behind the heart corner, heart center. So this is from the psychic being. What comes from above is the ananda of the higher consciousness, the divine love that comes from above. Soul's love or psychic, it comes from within, from the psychic itself. So here in the course, what comes from above is the ananda of the higher consciousness. Then again, if love is psychic, very interestingly, Aurobindo trying to go step by step procedure. If love is psychic in its motive, if love is psychic, it always brings the sense of oneness, or at least the inner intimate closeness of the being. Just imagine, how do you know, how can we know? Or because universal love is always universal. There is nothing to bother about it, wonder about it. So if love is psychic, is in motive, it always brings the sense of oneness. Oneness must be there, considering the psychic love, or at least an inner intimate closeness of being. Close intimacy must be there, but I think is that inner intimacy, outer, not outer intimacy. In many ways we are related in the outer atmosphere, outer surrounding. We love each other, everything. But if we consider in our third vision, if we can be able to see, there are a lot of differences are there. There is no love, no attachment, there is no love, no affection, nothing is there. Simply we are just imitating. Simply this is a dramatizing the concept. So here, if it is a psychic love, that is inner intimate closeness of the being. The divine love is based upon oneness, and the psychic derives from the divine love. So the divine love coming from the up, it is from the divine, from the oneness, and the ananda, it has been discussed initially. So it is based upon the oneness, and the psychic derives from the divine love. Psychic derives the things from the human love. It is there. Then again we'll go the psychic. If the psychic unites itself with the divine, so if both are actually combined, if the psychic unites with the divine, it can't be separated. No separation, because it is almost there is a unique attachment, unity among the psychic and divine. Separation is non-union. Almost the shortest sentence, and the most interesting and meaningful sentence we can see. Separation is non-union. Separation is non-union. If there is in union, there is no separation. Separation is non-union. Then the psychic realization, again that the uses, the psychic realization is one of the diversity in unity. Just imagine how the great words or great phrases have been used by here. The psychic realization is one of the diversity in unity in the person and the whole. It is one of the dissolving. It is one of dissolving like a drop of water in the sea. Just imagine when a drop of water in the sea gets mingled. No personal unity. No nothing. No ego. Nothing is there. Further, then no love or devotion is possible unless it is the love of oneself, devotion to oneself. If that oneness is not there, devotion is not there, so no love or devotion can be possible. Against Aurobindo quotes, the love that belongs to the spiritual plane is of different kind. Again, it is a point to be really marked and analyzed. The love that belongs to the spiritual planes, we know that the different layers of spiritual planes we see, that is of different kinds. The psychic has its own more personal love, bhakti, and surrender. Psychic, the characteristic of the psychic love, it is actually psychic, it is coming personal love, bhakti, and surrender. It is there, it is gained to the psychic. Love in the higher and spiritual mind are more universal and impersonal. Love in the higher and spiritual mind, we know in the spiritual planes with different sets of mind we see, like higher mind, illumined mind, intuitive mind, and over mind. Then comes super mind. So love in the higher or spiritual mind is more universal and impersonal. The two must go together. The two must go together, universal, impersonal, and to make the highest divine love. To make the highest divine love, psychic and divine spiritual planes, they both must go together. So again, Sri Aurobindo quotes very interestingly. That is the universal proverb. Of course, this is the definition of universal love. Universal love is always universal. So we must remember here, universal love is always universal, and psychic love can individualize itself. So in love, universal love, it is always universal, but in case of psychic love, it can individualize itself. Then again comes the cosmic love, depends upon the realization of oneness of self with all. Cosmic, from the term cosmos, it is written taken the cosmos. So cosmic love, love relating to cosmos is cosmic love, depends upon the realization of oneness of self with all. Psychic love or feeling can all for all can exist without its realization. So must be in cosmic love there must be realization, but in psychic love or feeling for all can exist without realization. Then comes divine love. In the process of involution, it came to the perverted stage like human love here in the inconscient on the matter. So in the evolution, it is going, it is spinning upwards. It is actually moving upwards. So as long as it is, as much as it is spinning upwards, it is going in the forward or reverse direction. So the impurities are falling down, and more purity, light, and everything that it is actually getting dissolved. So more it goes on the top, so more pure it becomes. Here during the course, the intuitive or ever mind are always open to the truth of the divine love. Naturally, in the spiritual planes, it is going the intuitive, then over mind. When it is going, there actually it is more open to the divine love and more capable of universalizing the love. This love capable of more universalizing love than the mind ordinarily is. Love there is no more love there is also more calm in intensity. In intensity it is very calm. Here also if you can see intense, stormy, everything is see in the sphere, human sphere, in human love sphere. There itself calm in its intensity, less ego bound. There is less ego bound or not at all, because as much as it is spinning upwards, this ego person will be getting reduced. Impurities will be falling brown, ego will be thinning and falling in the mental parts. But the mind can also approach their quality of love. If the love in it grows psychic and spiritual, then the mind also can approach the quality of love, because there itself mind will be knowing its proportion will be getting reduced. It will be more getting more and more spiritual. Then it has the quality. Mind also approach their quality of love, and if the love in it grows psychic and spiritual, again we will go for a couple of things. There is a term we can use, the